Arrow Season 3, Episode 22, This Is Your Sword. An amazing episode leading up to the season finale. It had some great twists in this episode alone. We got some amazing stuff, especially the fight between Katana and Maseo, which I did not expect. I really thought somehow Maseo's going to be fine. He's going to be able to escape this. Oliver and Katana, I can never think of her actual name. I just stick with calling her Katana. But I really thought they'd be able to help him and they'd be able to bring him back. But that was it. He had his moment. They actually had to fight each other. You know, he took off his little half scorpion mask. And, you know, they had to fight each other. And it was a cool fight. I love the fight because they both use katanas. And I love, you know, samurai sword fights and stuff. So that was really cool. But it was just really messed up. And she killed him. And before that, we got to see Akio die. And you know, Katana was singing that song to him, and she sung the same thing to Maseo when he died. And it was just a crazy moment. I didn't expect that to happen to him. I was hoping he'd live, and it would be a struggle, but I really was hoping that he would survive. And then, you know, unfortunately, he dies in this episode. They did it, you know, where he dies in the same episode where we actually see his son die, and it was, I like the way that they did it. It's sad on, like, two fronts, of course, but I do like the way that they did that. We got to see the flashback, and even the flashback came with a twist at the end where I knew they couldn't save him, or maybe the cure just, you know, wasn't fast enough, but it's like there's no cure. The guy let himself be captured so that he could capture the three of them, and that's where it ends. He takes the gun, Oliver has 3 lasers on him, and, you know, they're holding their dead son. It's like, where the heck does it go from there? Like, what the heck is happening? And with Argus, like, you know, Waller got shot, she's off somewhere, like after Oliver left that one time and she told him to leave, that was it. So I'm wondering if Argus is even, I think that was kind of the end of Argus as far as the flashbacks go. I really thought that that would take a much bigger role. So I was surprised that they kind of faded it out that way, and it's mass chaos. It's like Asian Raccoon City, you know, in the beginning of the flashbacks and stuff, which is from Resident Evil for anyone who doesn't know that. You know, it's just pandemonium, people running all over the place. You got like a guy with a gun, you know, 2 guys with guns running around. One guy's holding his kid, another woman's running around with an actual katana. They're just, it's pandemonium in the streets. And it was fun to watch. I enjoyed it. It, you know, like I said, ended with a bit of a twist. I was surprised that it was like, you know, they go through all this crap. It seemingly, like, we knew he was going to die, but it was like at least they kind of had hope. And then it was just like, I tricked you guys. I didn't think it would turn out like, yeah, it was too late. It was like, nope, that was a total lie. There is no cure. I just tricked you guys, and, you know, now you're my prisoners. So yeah, we're back to square one basically. And I don't know what they're gonna do for the finale. Like, it'll be interesting to see what they do, because we're gonna get to really the next step. It's been like a couple of months for the flashbacks for this season, so I don't know what's going to happen next. Like, maybe they'll still be captured and we'll get to maybe see more of Maseo in the past, and that would be kind of cool to keep his character around. But if not, then they get split up and something happens, and Oliver either goes back to the island, because he mentions he was there several different times. So he either goes back to the island, or he's transported somewhere else all over again. So I'm not sure how that's going to take place. Maybe he'll actually be in the United States this time. He just won't be able to get, you know, back home. But something big is about to happen in the flashbacks, and I thought this was going to be the one, but apparently it's like they've all been captured again. So something else big has to happen where they either escape in the next episode, or they get sent maybe somewhere else where it's almost like Argus with Oliver, except it's the army or something, and all 3 of them are forced to do things that they weren't expecting. But transitioning from the past in the Alpha and Omega, we go to the present with the Alpha and Omega. And it was crazy. It was like the Alpha and Omega is there, Rachel Gould has it, and we find in this episode Maseo took the piece that was basically they thought it was missing, that was a decoy truck, but they just had 2, and he just stole it before anything happened. And, you know, that was it. And he took that to Ra's al Ghul. And Oliver's face I loved when he found that out, because no one was looking at him. So when no one's looking at Oliver, that's when he makes all his faces like, I didn't see that coming. So it was funny when he did that, and he turns around, and then, you know, Roz leaves the room, and then he looks at Miss Sam and it's just like, what the F? Like, why'd you do that? So they actually do have a conversation about it and stuff, and Oliver that was one of the things Oliver was saying, like, if I go through with this wedding, which of course his plan was to destroy the League from within, I can release you. And Misael's thing is that he couldn't be released from his actual prison, and being someone else, being Sarab, was at least his way to kind of detach himself from the prison. So I thought it was really well done. I was surprised by that. Misael being the one that had it is also surprising, and then them going just through the episode, everything that happened, Oliver actually being a good guy the whole time. He just had to kind of play his role in order to destroy the League. And Malcolm Merlin being a total douche at the end of the episode, where he's like, I want to live, so I'm going to tell you something you don't know. And he totally rats out Oliver, which may or may not have been a part of the plan, because obviously no one died when they were in the cell. So I figure he had to have switched it out, but I feel like that would be so hard. So I'm not 100% sure exactly what took place there, but I know it wasn't the Alpha and Omega, especially if you guys saw the preview. And also, something in the preview that was really amazing to see is something they touched on in this episode, and that is Thea going to see Roy, and I don't know what's going to happen with Roy's character. It seems like he's officially kind of leaving the show. Like, it seems like that's the way they did this one, especially in this episode. And that's really unfortunate, but he's really done. Like, he's taken his role, and that it's kind of completed. Like, they ended out with Thea, and he even takes off from being with her, and he leaves it as soon, and he mentions, I always thought red was your color. And in the preview, she is wearing the Arsenal outfit, so she is officially going to be Speedy in Season 3, which I'm incredibly excited for. And they mentioned that, I think it was the first episode, when he gets back, he calls her Speedy, and that was the big thing for everybody, because for anyone who doesn't already know this, Speedy is the initial name for the Green Arrow's companion. It was Green Arrow and Speedy, and then some crazy stuff happens, and arms get chopped off, and then Speedy comes back as Arsenal. But the way they did it, they kind of switched things around, and Arsenal and Speedy are two totally different people, and I think it's awesome, and I love the way that they've naturally gone through it. Like, the beginning of this season was Thea training with Malcolm, and just all the craziness. So it just made perfect sense. She has these skills. We've seen her in the last episode. We saw her do that, which was really awesome to me. Like, she used a bow and arrow, and now she has the costume, and she's gonna be Speedy in Season 3. So, or maybe not Season 3, but well, I have to assume Season 3, because she mentioned the stuff about Arsenal, being separate from Arrow. So she might actually go out as Speedy and kind of do her thing without Oliver being Green Arrow and kind of bringing things back. But I can't wait to see that happen, because I think that's going to be really sweet for the season finale. A nice little nod to the comics, and like, here's officially Speedy as the Green Arrow's companion, and she'll be there throughout the rest of the series. So that should be pretty awesome. Just everything that happened that was pretty crazy. The battle, the crazy big fight scene that happened was really cool. I thought that was going to be in like the season finale. I was very surprised that happened in this episode. But it also made sense that they would go to get Oliver, and they'd have to fight everybody then. So that was really cool. We got to see Katana in her full costume, which I thought was pretty cool. She was just like destroying people too. Like, when they were running at her, she just like dodged a guy and just cut him in the stomach, and then just like slashed another guy. And she didn't have to do anything. Everybody else is like, blocking people, shooting people, fighting people like crazy. And she's just like dodged and sliced you once and sliced you once again. And she's fine. Like, the only thing she had to do was, unfortunately, fight her husband, which is way more dramatic than finding a bunch of random people that you were going to kill anyway. So, kind of balances out, I guess. But I definitely enjoyed that. We even got to see Adam, flying around and stuff. So, Ray's in the suit and everything. And Ray even does a transfer of power and stuff to Felicity. So, she's going to have all this tech, all of the company in general. And he's going to, I guess, be gone for Season 3. I don't know. Or Season 4, sorry. So, I'm not sure how the heck that's going to play out. But it seemed interesting. Like, I thought it was something bad at first, which kind of doesn't make sense because he's a good character. But it's this huge thing. Like, he's giving her the company. So, he's kind of taking off and just doing his own thing as Adam. And she's going to run this entire company now. And who knows what that's going to lead to. I think it's going to be some pretty cool tech stuff coming up in the next season. And maybe that'll be lead to some even greater crossovers for the Flash and stuff like that. So definitely excited for it. I think it's gonna be really cool. The action in this episode, the opening fight scene, I really loved in this episode too, because we got to see like Diggle and Laurel fighting together. They were fighting like 3 people at once. Like that was the first thing I noticed when they started fighting, and we got to hear the canary cry again, which was cool. But after that, it was like Diggle's fighting like 3 people deep. He's just like blocking and kicking, and then Laurel jumps down. She's spinning and flipping and kicking, and it's like they're both fighting like 3 people at once. And it was just really cool. It's like, it was really great to see them really only do stuff that we've seen Oliver doing, where he has all this immense and crazy training. And Diggle, of course, you know, has training too, but it's not like, well, I don't know, as if I've been in the army, but I assume they don't have it where it's like fight 3 people at one time in the army. You know, I don't think training is like that with the military, but they're both fighting people, you know, 3 people at a time. And it was just really cool. And they had some of that in like the big grand battle as well, where they were fighting more than one person. And I just love seeing that for their characters, because we always see Oliver doing it. It's like he's Green Arrow, so of course Green Arrow's the one doing all the flips and tricks and fighting like 12 people at once, and he wins. But for them, it's always like they're kind of the sidekick. So when we get to see them do awesome stuff like that, it makes it even cooler to me. So I love that opening fight scene we got. The big grand battles, of course, was really cool. We got to see Nyssa in this episode just dealing with a bunch of freaking issues, just leading from the last episode, having that kind of hate her dad and like mentioning how she used to honor the fact that she was the daughter of the demon and stuff like that, and now she's being forced to marry this guy that she doesn't know, like who she still feels doesn't deserve the title of Ra's al Ghul. And she tries to kill Oliver at the end, and he just like blocks it and just stops things. And you know, Roz gave like the angriest look. He gave like that calm, angry look where it's just like, okay, all right, okay. And he was just super pissed, but he was like, it's, you know, we're at the wedding now. It's too late. Like, if I can't, like, she's already here. She can't really stop it now. She already failed the murder attempt. So there's nothing else she can do. But it was like that real angry look. Even before she did that, when she wouldn't like put her hand up, he made the same sort of look. Like, if she screws this up, I'm gonna 100 deaths or whatever he said, the pain of 100 deaths and all that crazy stuff. But it was pretty interesting. Like, I love this episode. I'm still very curious as to how Oliver came up with the plan at the end. I don't know if Malcolm kind of ratting on him was a part of the plan. I kind of assume it was, because, I mean, at the same time, Oliver is smart enough to just be like, well, I did this and did that. But I think it was a part of the plan. Even him saying, like, it was Oliver kind of it probably gave Oliver enough time to switch out the vials and everything like that. So whatever happened, it's like some knockout gas or whatever, and they're fine. But I'm really excited for this season finale. They also have Flash coming in for the season finale. He comes in and helps them out, which really makes me wonder how they're doing the sort of timeline thing, because in the next episode of Flash, Oliver's supposed to be there helping them out. So it's like, I'm not 100% sure how that's supposed to play out, because if, you know, Flash comes on Tuesday and then we see, you know, the Arrow and he's working with them after all this big stuff in the season finale, it's like, well, how are they going to kind of play that? So I assume they aren't going to have any spoilers. It's going to be like, that was a crazy adventure we had, you know, in, you know, the Arrow stuff. And instead of it going like Flash happened and then Arrow happened within the universe, it'll kind of be reversed. And it'll be Arrow still happened first, but we'll just see the Flash episode next week, because that's just how they wrote the episodes, and they can't really change that up unless they like just stopped Arrow for like 1 week, or, you know, if they could have done that an extra week ahead, or back during like the mid-season finale stuff, but they didn't. So either way, I'm excited for it. It'll be cool to see the Flash back in Arrow, and I'd love to see how he does help out. Maybe just running through the city trying to get some more people out of there and stuff. But we're going to get Thea as Speedy. You know, she's going to be in the costume and stuff. Oliver fighting back against Ra's al Ghul. Like, Ra's had a blade to Nyssa's throat and stuff, so obviously she's still super pissed and he's mad at her. Then Oliver says, like, you know, I'm Oliver Queen, and that was just a cool way to end it. But I'm incredibly excited. It was a great episode. Had some sad moments, losing, you know, two people at once, one of which we knew was going to die. But we still had to kind of watch both happen. So, had some sad moments, but we had some really epic moments. And then, crazy cliffhanger ending, even if they're both knocked out, or the whole group is knocked out and stuff. I'm just wondering what the plan is. Maybe that's why he told, you know, like maybe the part of the plan was to get Katana moved to another thing so that he could get her out, and then it's like, okay, it's him awake, she's awake. Maybe he'll convince Nissa like, hey, I want to destroy the League or something, or maybe he won't trust her. Who knows? But there's a lot of stuff happening. But I love this episode, for like the third or fourth time of me saying that. But I want to know what you guys thought about this one. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And of course, with the season finale coming up next week, I have to ask, what do you guys want to see from that? Of course, what do you guys think happened? Like, what was the plan that Oliver had, and how did he switch it out? Like, obviously they all lived, but the big question is, like, is he working with Malcolm? Did he know, did he know that Malcolm was going to do that? Did Malcolm just become a total douche at the end? Maybe I was, a bit quick to judge on that, but it is, Malcolm Merlin, so I wasn't surprised when it happened. But, what do you guys want to see from the season finale? And what, big moments from this episode shocked you? Like, I didn't think Maseo was going to die at all. I thought they would honestly save him, and they would kind of go and live on happily ever after and work through the issues they had, just somewhere else. They'd be fine, and then, they're gone. Maybe come back sometime for a special episode or something. But unfortunately, things didn't work out that way. But like I said, I want to know what you guys think. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.